Good evening once again, darts fans, and welcome to the Week 4 finals night here in Stage 1 at the Online Darts Live League. I'm the asset Paul Nicholson, your host and commentator for this evening's action. We have 10 matches for you in total. 6 of them are group games. Then we will have some semi-finals, a third place playoff, and ultimately the final game will see us crown a champion for Week 4, and that person will go through to the Champions Week in the middle portion of October. But before we start tonight, let's give you a recap of what's happened this week. We started on Monday morning at 9:30 with Group A. And in Group A, it was Jim McEwan who bossed it from the very off with perfect days on Monday and Tuesday, getting 10 points on both of those days. And he was stopped in his tracks right at the end by Josh Payne for getting the perfect 30 points by losing his 15th game, but a fantastic effort from Jim. Payne and Gilliland went through to Group B, and this is what they did in Group B. Josh Payne did qualify, and you will see him tonight. And once again, he finished in second position behind another dominant player. And this time, it was Daryl Pilgrim who topped the table with 7 wins from 8. Dan Reed got through as well, but only by the skin of his teeth. Chris Gilliland missing 11 match darts against Dan in 2 games this week. 5 of them last night, which would have seen Gilliland qualify. So heartache for the Northern Irishman, but Dan Reed from Berkshire will be a part of tonight's finals. As far as Group C is concerned, it was even more exciting at the end because Dennant, going into the last match of that group, he was in 3rd position. But when Edgar had lost his last match, he knew that if he beat Gary Stone, who had already qualified, he would get through. And by the very, very small margin, by winning that best of 7-leg match in match number 15 on Friday, he topped the table on leg difference. So he will be part of Group 2 tonight. Let's have a little look at the fixtures tonight, because we're going to split these two into 2 groups of 3. You're going to see McEwan, Stone and Payne in Group 1. Pilgrim, Reed and Dennant in Group 2. That's the order of our matches, and we are going to start with an all-Scottish clash. That could well be the game of the night, just to start things off. But without further ado, I don't want to tease you too much. Let's get down to the hockey to start match number 1 of the night. Jim McEwan is back after 2 days of rest, after bossing Group A, and the 55-year-old is highly fancied for the finals tonight. But here is Gary Stone, 14 years, McEwan's junior.
First leg, it's
and has
Jim
a tremendous chance tonight.
Game on.
To have his best live league performance to date. McEwan knows all about winning on a Saturday night because only a month ago he won the Champion of Champions week. And that bagged him
83.
a very tidy sum of £6,000. Gary Stone has been to a Saturday night before, but only had equal 5th position on that occasion. So improvement will be sought tonight by the younger Scotsman. But he's been thrust into group number 1, which is stacked with Josh Payne in it.
121.
We have 4 players who took part in Group A playing tonight. A week ago, it was 5 players from Group A contesting the finals, which was ultimately won by Graham Hall. Who's going to add their name to the list of qualifiers for the Champions Week? Currently 3 very good players in that Champions Week. Rob Owen won Week 1, Chaz Barstow won Week 2,
59.
and Graham Hall, the aforementioned West Midlander, won Week 3 last week.
140.
Gary Stone knows he's got to get off to a really good start. I think, with all due respect to Group 2, with Pilgrim, Reed and Dennant, this is the one that everybody is really eyeing up.
100. Gary, you require 121.
Chance of a break in leg 1. The break is still on. The bull.
96. Jim, you require
Talk a little bit more about the stats for these two guys for the week. at the end of this first leg. And it's a leg that Stone should win.
$41. Gary, you require 25.
Single 1 for double 12 is the usual route.
Game shot
And
on
it
the
works
first leg.
pretty well
Gary Stone.
to start things off in 14 darts. Stone this week has had a very up and down 5 days, but yesterday was very up.
Second leg, it's Gary to throw first. Game on.
He's played 25 games of best of 7 darts this week, Gary Stone. He's won 12 of them.
121.
You don't need me to tell you that his win percentage is under 50%. It is, in fact, the lowest win percentage of the week. But you really must have watched the last 5 days to understand
41.
what kind of a week Gary Stone has had. Running average of 88.57, which is around about 3 or 4 points lower than what he's done here previously.
135.
But he's still here. 29 maximums. And his doubles percentage down at 33%. Hasn't played his best. But he'll be hoping he's saving his best for the last day of week 4.
$177.
That's incredible. And he's starting this match white hot. Earlier in the week, we had 14 wins from 15 from Jim. But if you count the back end of that Champion of Champions week,
Gary, you
where he won 2 games in a row on that Saturday night, winning 14 after that gave him a new record of consecutive wins here at the Live League. 16 is now the record. And Gary's got no reason to complain
36.
at missing that big number, because he is so far ahead in leg 2. He shouldn't let it worry him. Jim is puzzled. And in this format tonight, which is particularly cutthroat,
32.
you can't get off to a weak start.
16.
Just like the previous visit, he can't stress too much. He's still 207 ahead. But you don't want to be missing doubles towards the end of a match where McEwan this week has been showing his best stuff. Even when he's had slow starts, he has found a way to win matches.
16. Game shot on the second
But it's Gary Stone, who has thrown 31 darts for the first 2 legs here. This is good stuff, but he must keep it going.
Third leg, it's Jim to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, quite a few occasions on Tuesday, Jim started like this. But by the end of, say, leg 6 or 7, he'd still got the win. And here it comes. Earlier in the week, I categorized it as the snooze button.
96.
When he finally woke up, he was amazing. Misses dart 5. We haven't had a 9-darter this week.
100.
I suppose it's too much to ask to get 2 in 2 weeks, after Danny Van Tripe got one last week. But I mentioned the win percentage for Jim.
58.
Actually, for Gary a little bit earlier on. But if you look at Jim's win percentage this week, I've never seen anything so high. 93.33%. I can't even say it with a straight face. 22 maximums in 15 games played. And he's already got 1 tonight. Doubles percentage, 40.41%.
134.
On one of the days in Group A this week,
136.
he was 67% on doubles for 5 matches. Absolutely sick stuff. 71 left.
82.
And this time it's McEwan who's comfortable. Pressure coming.
137.
Pressure applied.
Jim, you require 54.
This is a big shot. Best of 7 legs in all matches tonight, remember. Double 10.
Game shot.
Key
the
shot
third
from
leg.
McEwan.
Jim McEwan.
It's really good quality darts tonight. We've had a 14 darter, a 17, now a 15. They're staying in that really good range. The averages are very healthy.
Fourth leg, it's Gary to throw first.
When Stone has found his focus this week,
180.
he's been at a very high level indeed. And the best he played this week? Yesterday. When the pressure was on him and he needed to be focused for a good 4 or 5 matches in a row, he found it on Friday.
140.
The way I categorised Stone yesterday, more of a knockout player than a round-robin player. He was getting lost at times on Wednesday and Thursday, but on Friday when the chips were down a little bit and he needed to be perfect, he was very close to that.
43.
And I think he's going to bring that intensity this evening. You only get 2 games in your group on a Saturday night. If you win your first game
105.
by some margin, you've got a very good chance of qualifying. We will alternate the games between the groups tonight as well. We'll start with Group 1.
80.
Game 2 will be
Gary
from Group 2,
requires
and then we'll go back to
76.
Group 1 again after that. And we'll keep you up to date verbally with what's going on in the tables.
56.
But every leg seems to be following a pattern here. Somebody's dominating the scoring aspect, and the other person is outside a finish.
$60.
And Jim
Gary, you
is still
require
not on a
20.
finish.
No score.
Look at those 2 darts magnetised to the outside wire of double 10. He has every right to feel frustrated that those did not get a bounce into that
94.
segment.
Gary, you require 20.
Can't miss this time, though.
Game
And
shot
doesn't.
the fourth leg.
He's
Gary
finding the
Stone.
3rd dart, isn't he? Double 5 comes to his rescue, and it's 3-1 to Gary Stone against the highly fancied McEwan for tonight.
Fifth leg, it's Jim to throw first. Game on.
Indeed, the favourite to win tonight before play began was Daryl Pilgrim. I find that very, very interesting because Pilgrim has never won on a Saturday night at the Online Darts Live League, whereas McEwan
121.
has won twice this year, and Josh Payne has won 3 times on a Saturday night this year.
44.
That's why Jim McEwan's odds of winning tonight were inviting at 15-4. Now, a reminder from everybody here at Live League Darts that if you choose to gamble tonight, please do so responsibly. It's for over 18s only.
100.
And begambleaware.org is the website you need for all of the information related to that.
60.
And if McEwan is going to get out of this with a win, he not only needs 3 straight legs, but he'll need to raise his standard from an 89 average for me.
63.
Gary lost all 3 group games to Jim earlier in the week.
95.
3 different results as well. 4-2 on Monday, 4-3 on Tuesday, and 4-1 on Wednesday. Jim's best performance of the week in a single game came against Gary Stone in his very first match on Monday. 100.59 with 3 180s.
75.
And around 37% on his doubles. But since then,
44.
we've seen
Jim,
a whole host of
142.
drama-filled stories. We haven't had a 9-darter this week. We haven't had a 170 checkout. But we might get a 142 on tops.
102.
Look at the scores, though. It's happened again. Somebody is down to a double and the other one's not on a finish. We haven't had one leg so far
57.
where it's been nip and tuck.
Jim, you require 40.
Tends to stay in it, but no pressure on him.
Game shot on the 5th leg.
17
Jim
darts is enough
McEwan.
to win leg 5. He is now fully focused on leg 6. If he loses it, he knows he's up against it when he plays Josh Payne later.
6th leg, it's Gary to throw first. Game on.
Consequently, the second game in Group 1 is Josh Payne against Gary Stone.
91.
Jim will know exactly what he needs to do when he plays in match 5 of the night.
$140.
If you're looking at Gary's probability of coming through this group, you might want to look at a few
123.
statistics or maybe head-to-head records this week against his Group 1 compatriots. Of the 6 games he's played against McEwan and Payne, he's only won 1 of them.
140.
That doesn't make for good reading. But on the flip side of that, the strong mindset is
58.
those games didn't matter at the time. What matters now is that he's here, he's in this scenario, and if he beats McEwan and Payne, he's guaranteed to be part of the first semi-final tonight against the runner-up in Group 2.
180.
That puts McEwan ahead on the 180s, and it changes this leg a little bit. Look where that little green arrow is on our graphic. It's next to Gary Stone's name.
Jim, you require 41.
That means that this 41 is to break Stone to have the throw in leg 7. What a chance for Stone to win this match. It might
Gary,
be the only one he gets.
106.
And he wants to get it done now. Double 16. A
Game
monstrous
shots
106
and the
out
match.
from Gary Stone. And for the first time this week, he beats Jim McEwan. Only the second person to beat Jim all week long. The average of Stone and McEwan pretty close, but check out, again very close. All about timing though. The timing of the shots from Stone earlier on and the timing of that match-winning shot of 106 at the end. Perfect, because if he didn't hit that, he may not have got another opportunity. So, advantage Stone in Group 1. When it comes to Group 2, we will go to the first match of that after this short break, and that will be Daryl Pilgrim up against Dan Reed. That is a rematch of what we saw in Group B last night. Welcome back, everybody. It's Saturday finals here in week 4, and it's time to turn our attention to Group 2 with Daryl Pilgrim, the winner of Group B, up against Dan Reid, who came 3rd in that very group. Pilgrim highly fancied to qualify for Saturday night in that Group B table, and after getting 8 perfect points on Thursday, he got 6 last night as well. Dan Reid will probably count himself quite fortunate to be here.
First leg, it's Daryl to throw first. Game on.
Over the last couple of nights, Dan has played against Chris Gilliland of Northern Ireland. And on Thursday, Chris missed 6 darts to beat him in one leg. And then last night, Chris missed 5 in multiple legs.
140.
And that game last night was very apt. It was game 9, and it was a shootout between Gilliland and Reid to see who qualified.
100.
Reid had 1 match dart to beat him on Thursday and hit it. He had 1 match dart last night and hit it.
140.
That's why he's here, and that's why Gilliland is not.
131. 57.
Pilgrim starting pretty well here. Not really a surprise.
98.
He's played 8 games this week and won 7. Win percentage of nearly 90%. Not quite as good as Jim McEwan coming into Saturday night, but still mightily impressive.
92. Daryl, you require
one of only
76.
2 players coming into Saturday night with a running average this week of over 90. Tops for Pilgrim.
56. Dan, you require 72.
He's missed that bed quite a lot this week on combinations like that. What can Dan do on it?
32.
He goes the other way.
Daryl, you require 20. Game shot on
He
the
has
first
been pretty
leg.
good at double
Daryl
10 though.
Pilgrim.
Well, it's the old adage in darts, isn't it? If you're not having a good time on tops, just make sure you're pretty good on double 10.
Second leg, it's Dan to throw first.
Daryl's running average for the week, 90.42. His best performance, 96.82. Some of those performances could have been better, but he did fiddle around with a few match darts in a couple of those games.
85.
7 maximums. And a running checkered percentage of just a shade under 38%.
60.
So it's really good and consistent. But this year for Pilgrim has been a year of near misses.
140.
He was runner-up in the Phase 1 finals on that Saturday night. He lost out to Jim McEwan. He could be on a collision course with Jim
96.
again, providing Jim wins his next match against Josh Payne. But in this group, it's not just these two, but it's Matthew Dennant as well.
137.
Dennant won Group C. Pilgrim won Group B. And Reid is the other player that maybe people aren't fancying.
100. Daryl,
But don't forget that in Phase 2, Week 1, Dan Reid won that week. He knows how to get it done on a Saturday night. He's done something that Pilgrim hasn't done yet.
99. Dan, you require 145.
But this is a very different time.
$85. Daryl, you require
Let's see
40.
what he's like on tops to break the throw.
Game shot on the
Much
second
better.
leg. Daryl Pilgrim.
103.66, the average for the first couple of legs. This is a proper performance. This is the kind of performance you need to make it through a group.
Third leg, it's Daryl to throw first.
It's easy to say that the
57.
ideal result is 4-0. But if you just boil it down just a little bit
140.
and say to yourself, how do I get through this group? It's simple. Win both of your group games and you will win the group. It's only 2 games.
134.
But you're obviously playing against people who have had a good week. That's the difficulty, and that's what I love about Saturday night.
60.
It's a marathon playing in Live League Darts all week long. But when it comes to Saturday night, we test what you're like in short course darts as well. I suppose it's a bit like jumping out of the 50-metre Olympic pool and then going into the short course 25-metre pool.
121.
Let's see what you like at different disciplines. But I've had a tweet tonight from my good friend Brian Rahman,
134.
one of our weekly winners from Phase 6 last year, saying, when am I going to reveal next week's players? I'm not going to make you wait that long, Brian, because I'm going to read it out in leg 3.
100.
I have the names right in front of me.
117.
And if Pilgrim hits this, that list will be coming your way in a matter of 10 seconds.
42. Dan, you require 80.
Dan's got to get into the game. Double 10. Double 5's been good to him.
Game shot on the third leg. Dan Reed.
It's almost as if I've been sitting here for the last 5 and a bit days watching these guys play darts. I have. Double 5 has been good to D. Reed.
Fourth leg, it's Dan to throw first. Game on.
D. Reed looking for a D. Ream night. Surely things can only get better.
140.
What you heard after that was a badum-tsh, like that. Anyway, 2-1 to Pilgrim, still in command. But the break of throw that he had has been extinguished. And without further ado, drum roll please, the players for next week. I will read the names for Group A first. We have
100.
some regular hitters, but we have one particularly heavyweight name. In fact, there's a couple of them. And one debutant. That debutant is Andreas Toft Jorgensen of Denmark. Particularly exciting talent. Looking forward to seeing him play on Monday. He's in Group A with Andy Jenkins, Lee Evans, Scott Marsh, the World Senior Champion Robert Thornton, and the WDF World Champion Neil Duff.
180.
I'll read Group B and C
81.
after this because Reed is on 62 with 2 to draw level at 2-2.
45.
Well, that leaves double 18.
Daryl, you require 44.
But for the third break of throw in this match, Pilgrim needs double 8.
28.
Big chance missed.
Dan, you require 36. No score.
I was waiting for him to hit that. And miraculously,
Daryl, you
he found the
require
gap
16.
between his first dart and the double. Let off for the Flying Eagle.
8.
And he can't take advantage of it.
Dan, you require 36.
Take 2.
$18.
6 missed darts in leg 4.
Daryl, you require 8.
You just don't know what kind of effect that will have on his night.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
It has resulted
Daryl
in him
Pilgrim.
losing his throw in leg 4, and now Pilgrim is in dreamland because if he holds now, he'll have a +3 advantage in his leg difference column in Group 2.
Fifth leg, it's Daryl to throw first.
As he throws at the start of leg 5, Group B next week.
100.
As we get a second maximum from Pilgrim. Group B will be Thursday and Friday night. You will get another debutant in the shape of
60.
Martin Turner of Yorkshire. The fast left-hander with years of experience will finally make his debut here. And he'll be with Robert Rickwood. And the Muffin Man will hear the call for Thursday. He will hopefully be bringing the muffins. Group C, which will be on Thursday and Friday
85.
morning. You'll have Stu Wilson, Steve Haggerty, and Jamie Lewis of Wales will make his return to the live league. The first time we'll have seen him this year.
140.
And one of my picks with the Sporty Stuff TV crew earlier tonight was Daryl Pilgrim to have
58.
more 180s than Dan Reed
Daryl, you require
at 8 to
56.
5. That has happened so far, and the game could be done. And the game is
shot,
done.
And the match.
A good display
Daryl
from Pilgrim. His average climbs over the 100 mark, and you can see what it is right here, 101.25. And considering he missed 7 darts at double in that match, what could that average have been if he'd have hit his doubles just a little bit quicker? Does he care? No, not one jot. He's got his first 2 points in Group 2, and Dan Reed is already in trouble. We're going to revisit Group number 1 when we come back after this break, and it's going to be Gary Stone trying to beat Josh Payne, and if he does, he will win Group 1. Very warm welcome back to Saturday Night Darts here at the Online Darts Live League. Group 1 took a bit of a twist in Game 1, didn't it? With a bit of an upset win for Gary Stone, beating Jim McEwan, but now he has a chance of beating the other person in the group in Josh Payne, and if he can, he will have a nice little 3-game break before coming back for semi-final 1. But his 28-year-old opponent from Kent,
first leg,
he's
it's
played in
Gary
2 groups this week, just like Gary Stone. But after playing in Group A together on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, they were split up for Thursday and Friday.
60.
Josh played at night, Gary during the day. And they both came second in their respective groups.
140.
The overall week for Josh, 23 games played, 14 wins, keeping up a very consistent record, in fact,
96.
of winning around 61% of his matches. Running average for the week, 90.54. The highest running average of anybody tonight for the week.
43.
Is that telling? It probably isn't. And Payne's got 27 maximums so far this week. Stone, before tonight began, had 29. But he has reached the 30 mark after getting 1 in his first game. And he is the first person to reach that milestone
53.
for week 4.
Josh should require 164.
Not a good start to visit number 4.
74.
But he rescues it somewhat to leave a manageable 90 when he comes back.
100. Josh should require 90.
What route is he going to take? Stay on that line. Bullseye.
48. Gary
Outside chance for Stone.
149.
Whose best finish of the week is 164.
59. Josh should require
Funny enough,
42.
Josh's is only 126. Double 16.
Game shot on the first leg.
Really pinpoint that
Payne.
one. And that's the first time this week I've seen him go left on that shot when he misses the double 16 on the outside. Previously, in Group A and Group B, he has stayed in the same position, but maybe he's learned something in the practice room tonight. And he's broken his opponent's throw in leg 1. Good signs for the dart player called The Maximum.
43.
Gary probably is not aware of what he needs to do to qualify in this match, apart from the fact that he knows he will if he wins. There is another scenario as well. If he wins 3 legs in this game, he will qualify.
180.
2 180s and 2 visits to the board.
$100.
Josh scoring heavily, putting Stone under pressure.
60.
He can't get to a finish.
Josh should require 124.
Might look at the treble 18 or possibly the treble 16 now. Quite a few players who like to leave double 15 these days. But staying on the 60 there when it was blocked, that was a bit of a puzzling call in my opinion.
Josh should require 64.
Let's see what he's like on tops. Most of the week he's been mustard on it.
Shot on the second leg. Josh Payne.
Mustard indeed. 2-0 up. And we have another scenario that we need to make you aware of. If we can't separate
Third
the
leg, it's Gary
players
to throw first.
in each group because they have the same amount of points, same leg difference, same amount of legs won, we have this scenario that hasn't been used yet, but at some point I'm sure it will be, a 9 darts shootout. And it could involve all 3 players. The way that happens from this group is if Payne wins this game 4-2 and then McEwan wins 4-2 against Payne. It means that everybody would have 2 points and everybody would be all level on the leg difference. Is tonight going to be the night?
97.
If Payne wins 1 more leg, it won't be.
100.
These guys have played each other 3 times this week already, all in Group A. Josh won 2 of them. Gary won on Tuesday by 4 legs to 2. 5 of the 6 averages in those games have been over 90.
58.
So good quality games from these 2 so far this week.
$91.
The
Gary
170 is left.
146.
And now Josh gets a look at it. If you're interested, if you're having a punt on a 170 being hit in a
80.
match, 22
Josh
to 1.
require 170.
That's what the price was.
$94. Gary requires 66.
You feel that Stone may need this. Double top.
46.
And way too many times this week has Gary Stone
Josh
missed tops
requires
low.
76.
It's cost him easily 20 legs of darts. Double top for Josh.
36. Gary required 20.
He's had some trials on this double.
15.
And he's missing too many of them all of a sudden. Handing possibly
Josh
a double
required
break
40.
to the 28-year-old who currently resides in Ashford. That's not a good dart. But that one is.
Third leg.
He understood as well that dart number 2 at that visit wasn't a good one. That's why he paused. He started to breathe and then he shot after that.
Fourth leg, it's Josh to throw first.
That's experience. If Payne was to win 4-0,
140.
he would put Gary Stone's leg difference back to -2. Oh,
60.
that was a Robin Hood, then a displaced Robin Hood. I don't think I've seen that before. I think Gary sees the funny side of it, but look at this sympathy from Josh Payne,
140.
of which there is absolutely none.
$81.
If Josh wins this leg, he will have qualified through this group with a game to spare.
100.
That does not happen very often on Saturday finals night. And regardless of that maximum from Gary Stone, is second of the contest.
121.
He's having to wait to see if Josh is going to finish him off on double 14. And he is winning through to the semi-finals. The man who has never failed to make a Saturday night when he's come here to the Live League this year is at it again. And you will see him in the semi-finals. As to which semi-final it will be, we'll have to wait and see. But 92.49, a good game from Josh. His highest checkout the last 3 darts of the contest. But Gary Stone has an agonising wait to see if he will qualify. He now needs a favour from Josh when he plays Jim McEwan in match number 5. We're going to say hello to the scholar in match number 4. Matthew Dennant is coming your way after this break. Welcome back, everybody, and I hope you're having a very good evening indeed. Matthew Dennant will join us in match number 4. He will play in games 4 and 6 tonight, and if he can win this game, he will eliminate Dan Reid from tonight's finals. It's always a good experience in the finals for the guys who can win their first game and know that they're through with a game to spare. But if Matthew Dennett, the scholar, the 31-year-old from Walsall, can win this game,
feels like it's Dan
Reed
to throw
will be at the
first.
bottom of
Game
Group
on.
2, and Game 6 will therefore be a playoff between Pilgrim and Dennant to see who wins Group 2.
100.
First and foremost, we have to congratulate Matt on winning Group C. He went into Game 15 of
97.
Friday in 3rd position, in the knowledge that if he beat Gary Stone, he was going to win the group. He vaulted both
60.
Stone and Matthew Edgar after Edgar was fresh in the knowledge that if he won one of his final 2 games, he was going to be here tonight.
100.
But unfortunately for Matt, he wasn't able to win another game. He lost out to Gary Stone by 4 legs to 2, and he lost to Gary Blades somewhat unexpectedly in match 14 by 4 legs to 1. Giving Dennant that chance.
161.
It looks like it may be a chance that he's relishing so far.
97.
But he is against the darts here in his first group game. And Dan has started more buoyantly than he did
50.
against Pilgrim in
And
match number 2. Double top for leg 1.
24.
Chance for Dennant to break immediately.
74.
That was a somewhat lucky 20.
Ames on the first leg. Matt Dennett.
When we zoomed into that double top to see it go in, look how close that single 20 was. And look at the composure
Second
of Matthew
Matt
Dennant.
to throw first. Game on.
Not ruffled by the fact that he almost bust his score with 2 darts. All he did was go ahead and hit the shot that he needed.
$55.
He's only ever played Dan Reed once before, and it wasn't a good experience for Matt. He lost to him 6 legs to 0 at this year's Q School. They haven't met since.
45.
Oh, I do beg your pardon. I'm actually missing the fact that they've played each other 3 times this year. And you know what? I should have embellished on what I said, because Matt Dennant has never beaten Dan Reed in 4 attempts. Maybe tonight's the night. I don't see why not. He's played some really good stuff at times this week as Matt. Running average of 88.91. He's had a couple of games where the average has surpassed the 100 mark. He's got the most 180s of any player this week so far, but he has played the most games.
140.
His doubles percentage, though, 29.8%. The reason it's so low is because earlier in the week he had a couple of nightmare days on the double. Double 18.
6. Dan, you require 100.
A couple of misses there that give a little bit of hope to Dan. Double 14.
80.
He's getting chances tonight, but not taking
36. Game shot
and
the
he's
second
paying the
leg.
price.
Matt Dennett.
In his first game tonight, Dan Reed missed 9 darts at double and paid a huge price in losing the game, and he's already 2-0 down in this one.
Third leg, it's Dan to throw first. Game on. 95.
I had a very pleasant conversation with Matty Dennant a little bit earlier. Always such an amiable fella, one of the nicest dart players on the circuit. And I'm not just saying that because he's playing tonight, but I genuinely don't know anybody who doesn't like him. He's smart, he's articulate.
97.
He's a classy dart player. We need more like him. On top of that, he's an extraordinary technician.
140.
There are people who think he's underachieved in his career to date. And if I say
44.
I'm one of them, it's a compliment because we believe he's got a ridiculously high level. His personal best in professional darts proves it.
60.
His personal best is 119. You don't do that unless you're a really good talent. I know that his family at home are all watching along tonight, hoping he has a great
79.
evening.
Mate, we're going
His partner Amy,
161.
children Bailey and Elliot watching on, cheering him on, as well as his dad and all of his mates from the Nut.
89. Well,
If there was a blueprint for success, Matt's following it because he's on double 12 for 3-0.
60. Daniel require 105.
Again, he dangles the carrot. Oh, great bullseye. Double top.
Game shot.
How
on the
good was
third
that?
leg. Dan
I
Reed.
know he's missed a few darts at double tonight, but how good was that shot? You could frame that bullseye.
Look, it's Matt to throw
That was how
first.
pretty that was.
Game on.
But that keeps him in with a shout. He could be sitting there right now, 3-0 down.
100.
But as it stands, Dennant still has a break of throw, but if he gets to the
42.
finishing line in a leg, in order to win tonight, Matt may have to be just a little bit more clinical.
140.
He's giving 0 away, though.
80.
He doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve when he plays darts. He's quite robotic. He's a good poker player on the hockey.
100.
If he shows any emotion, it will be to us watching on this shot. The one person who can't see his emotions,
100, mate, you're 161.
his opponent.
64.
Really smart player. Puts him in 2-dart range with that semi-bull.
$140, mate. You're going 97.
Dan's creeping up on him again. Sensibly did not go double-double.
57.
That's not the
And you're
spot to do that.
39.
And this is what I'm talking about with Dennant.
59.
He's lost too many
Mate,
legs
140.
like this week. But he doesn't lose this one. And in a game where he could have won 4 legs to 0, he's still in a very healthy position at 3-1 up here in Group 2.
Fifth leg, it's Dan to throw first. $43.
Just in case you were wondering, for next week, your commentator on Monday will be Chris Mason. On Tuesday and Wednesday to finalise Group A, you will have the company of Henry Deacon. And then Chris Mason will come back for the end of week number 5. Going to be a fascinating week to see Neil Duff going up against the world senior champion. A clash of codes.
140.
Oh, Matty Dennant, you tease. 5 perfect darts. We wanted a 6th. Look how bothered he is. He just wants the leg.
41.
136 in front. Unless Reed gets 2 trebles minimum.
100.
Which he doesn't. That means 6 darts from here to guarantee a semi-final spot for what I believe is only the second time. It may be the third. I'll double check that. But I know his best effort was earlier this year, and he got second behind Adam Smith-Neal. Looking to go one better tonight is Dennant.
55.
Well, I don't know what he was doing on 95. I'm sure he wasn't going for treble 5 for tops.
Game's on the 5th leg. Dan Reed.
Or was he? I may have to ask him a little bit later if he has a successful night. But this game is not over yet.
6th leg, it's Matt to throw first. Game on.
He's got 95 there. Was he going for treble 20 for 3 for double 16? Was he turning it into a 3-dot checkout?
96.
I refuse to believe that he was going for treble 5 on purpose.
59.
Nobody goes for treble 5 on purpose. Anybody of a sound mind, anyway. You would maybe in an exhibition, but this is no exhibition. This is big stuff on the line.
140.
That was for 18s first. 305.
81.
You need 2 treble 20s and an alternative single or treble. Like 15s, a 25, 18s.
90.
Still got the darts in leg 6.
100.
We have not gone the distance tonight so far. Tightest game we've had was McEwan Stone, which was 6 legs. Dennant is desperate not to go to leg 7.
124.
That is a leg that Dan would have the darts. Bullseye. Wins the match on the bull by 4 legs to 2.
Dennett.
And he eliminates Dan Reed from the finals with a ton plus finish. Wonderfully done. A 92 average for the scholar. And he does it with a game to spare. Reed leaves us with 50% on the doubles. 88.91 is not good enough. But Pilgrim and Dennant will meet in match number 6 to see who qualifies in first position. But they both know they will both be in the semi-finals. So congratulations to both of those guys. As far as the next game is concerned, it's all about Jim McEwan. And he needs a result if he wants to join Josh Payne in the semi-finals. That's coming up after the break. If you are a fan of Scottish dart players, you may want to avert your eyes right now because Jim McEwan is about to be thrown into the bear pit against Josh Payne. This is now a knockout scenario for him. Josh is smiling because he's already through after winning his first game by 4-0. But now the person he beat in that match is hoping that he wins again. And if that happens, Jim McEwan will join Dan Reid on the scrap heap. These two, the most prolific winners at the Live League this year,
Right, first
playing in week 4,
first. Game on.
will now determine who plays in the semi-finals from Group 1.
$100.
Earlier in the week on Wednesday, Jim won 14 straight games in Group A. And then on match 15 on Wednesday, he played Josh Payne for the perfect 30-point group,
60.
which had never been done. Jim missed double 18 for a 110 checkout, which would have given him the 30 points. But after missing it, he lost the match.
180.
Josh being the first person to beat Jim this week, but we can now add Gary Stone's name to that. But here is the scenario for these two
140.
players in this group. If Payne wins 2 legs, he wins the group, regardless of the result.
100.
Jim just needs to win to get through. He's not even contemplating the fact that he could still win the group if he has a heavy win against Josh.
140. Josh River 121.
But it would need to be 4-0. Double 14. He's already done this tonight.
93. Jimmy Rockwell 161.
Just when you thought that maybe Jim was saving one of his biggest finishes of the week
35.
for right there.
Josh Rockwell 28.
He doesn't really scare it. 156, in fact, is his best.
Game shot on the
And
first.
Josh has
set.
got a 13
Josh
darter
Payne.
in leg 1. One of the 2 legs that he requires to win this group. He's halfway to being at the summit in Group 1.
Second leg is Jim to throw first.
And
Game on.
3 legs away from giving Gary Stone a first Saturday night semi-final of 2022.
$180.
I was talking a little bit earlier about speaking to the people in the studio at Sporty Stuff TV.
121.
My picks for the evening. And remember, if you are having a gamble tonight, please do so responsibly. Over 18s only, and begambleaware.org for more information on that. We can't stress that enough.
60.
But there are plenty of markets for you to have a bit of fun with. And one of those is, in this match, it's 5 to 6 for there to be more than 2.5 180s. So
100.
3 180s or more. And that would pay 5 to 6. That was one of my picks earlier. And after 1.5 legs, we've already got 2 180s. And like all of the
40.
matches tonight, if you chose to go for a 170 finish in a specific game, the odds were 22 to 1.
$88.
Josh was 3rd favourite to win tonight. When I was looking at those statistics earlier, I was nearly dizzy. Pilgrim was favourite, McEwan was 2nd favourite, and Josh was 3rd favourite. And considering that Josh has won 2 weekly titles this year, and he's won Phase 4 in the Champions
26.
Week, I found that flabbergasting. both of these players, about a month ago, played in the Champion of Champions week. Jim won that, and Josh was in the semi-finals.
140.
And he's taking charge. Jim is not finding his best darts tonight by any means.
47. Joshua require 52.
He's being left in Josh Payne's wake as he goes for double 16.
36.
And gives McEwan the
Give me a
tiniest glimmer of hope here in
148.
leg 2.
$98.
He needs another miss
Joshua
from Payne.
requires 16.
Based on what we saw earlier, he's not going to miss.
Game shot
And he
the
doesn't.
second leg. Josh Payne.
Just knows how to do it on a Saturday night this year. He hasn't failed to make a Saturday night when he has been here at the Live League. An amazing record.
Phil against Josh to throw first. Game on.
He has won group
134.
number 1. He's got the legs he needed. That means he's going to be in semi-final number 1 against the runner-up of Group 2. So it will be Josh Payne versus the loser of the next match.
60.
And there is that third 180
180
of the match. And that tip of mine from earlier has come in. Let's have a little look at this year for Josh. Phase 1,
92.
week 1, won by Josh Payne. He was 4th in that Champions Week. Jim McEwan won that one. They've shared the hockey a lot this year. Josh won week 4 of Phase 2. And he was
57.
equal 5th in the Champions Week. He didn't play in Phase 3. He took a little bit of a break. But when he came back for Phase 4, he was 2nd to Conan Whitehead in week 2. And then in the Champions Week,
44.
he won that.
Joshua require 130.
Like I said, he was 4th in the Champion of Champions Week last month. And here in Stage 1, he's here on a Saturday night again. A prolific Live League player.
98.
Sensibly leaving double 16 after 12 with Jim McEwan not finding his scoring boots this evening. He's on the cusp of elimination.
98.
And Gary Stone is not
32.
dancing into the semis yet, but he's pretty close.
Game shot on the
He's
third
extremely
leg.
close.
Josh Payne.
Josh only needs one more leg to eliminate Jim McEwan after an incredible Group A campaign. He has lost both games since match
Well, it's
15 on
Jim
Wednesday.
to throw first. Game on.
After 16 consecutive wins here at the Live League, could he possibly lose 3 in a row after that?
60.
Is it going to be Josh's night again? Just look at the people already qualified for that Champions Week. Just imagine
140.
what the quality will be like with 12 winners come the middle of October. Owen, a Live League legend. Barstow, a Live League legend.
58.
Graham Hall, someone who has really turned it on this year. And Josh Payne, if he was to win tonight, it will be no surprise to most.
60.
He's playing with a level of freedom in this match because he already knows where he's playing. He doesn't care who he's playing, but he knows he's playing at that level that can give him wins.
136.
He's had the biggest average this week, has Josh. And that average of 105.47, he's hit it twice in consecutive games this week. And both of them came against Dan Reed by 4-0 on Thursday night and Friday night. That's 78 scored. And that's another 21
99.
when he retrieves it.
141.
It's going to be 74 for Payne to send Jim McEwan
55.
into the
Requires 70.
mild dark night without a place in the semis.
54. Jimmy require 86.
Jim breathes again, and Gary Stone holds his breath again. Now he can breathe, Gary, because Jim is not getting a look at the bullseye or 77.
46.
In every likelihood,
Required 20.
this is it for Jim.
Game
Josh wins
shot
the
on
group.
match.
And Jim McEwan
Josh Payne.
is gone. A bit of a shock here in Group 1, but you have to say that Group 1 was stacked with talent. 95.43 and 30% on the checkouts. No shots at double in that match is a huge surprise for Jim McEwan. We will see him again at some point, but he is not going to win week number 4. He won't even make the semi-finals. And Gary Stone is going to be in the second semi-final against the winner of Group 2. Who will that be? Will it be Pilgrim? Will it be Dennant? We're going to find out after match 6, and that comes up next. Good evening once again and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League, live on Sporty Stuff TV with me, Paul the Asset Nicholson. We know our semi-finalists, but we don't quite know everything about the fixtures yet. We will know everything after this 6th game though. It's not a place on the line in this 6th game, it's a time and an opponent. If Daryl Pilgrim wins this match, he will play Gary Stone in semi-final 2. Essentially, this game is loser stops on.
First. Game on.
And whoever loses this game will play Josh Payne about 10 minutes after the conclusion of this match. We've completed 100 games this week. And the 100th game was a 4-0 victory for Josh Payne against Jim McEwan to send the Scotsman out. And Payne hasn't even lost a leg tonight.
97.
As for these two, 4-1 for Pilgrim against Dan Reed. And 4-2 for Matty Dennant with that supreme 124 check out at the end on the ball,
39,
which got the job done. There must be a level of relief coming into this second game of the group for these guys, knowing that they are going to come back. It's maybe as comfortable as you can feel on a finals night. But what we can't ignore
180
is that guy doing things under the radar. In Group B the last couple of nights, there was a lot of talk about Dan Reed and Josh Payne. It was Pilgrim that came through after owning it.
180, mate.
He got 14 points from 16 points available. Dennant for double 14.
120.
Ooh, that was close.
Daryl, you're recording 42.
That would have been a rip-roarer. Double 9.
24.
The wire was bent. And Pilgrim could lose this first leg after hitting back-to-back maximums.
But
if Matthew Dennett is going to get his first weekly title here at the Live League, he must stop missing doubles.
Game shown the
Pilgrim
first
makes him pay by breaking him in 18 darts. You see the little green arrow next to Daryl's name. He will throw first in leg 2. What a great first leg that was.
Second leg, it's Daryl to throw first.
Kind of surprised that it was an 18 darter. It just felt better than that.
100.
Dennant's best effort. Second in week 3 of phase 2, where he lost out to former World Master Adam Smith-Neal. But as for Pilgrim, phase 1 this year, he was 3rd in week 3. Then he was 2nd in the Champions Week to Jim McEwan. He was 2nd to Ryan Finesse in week 3 of phase 3. And he was equal 5th in the Champions Week. So he has plenty of Saturday night experience. But he's been a runner-up twice. He hasn't had the glory at the end of the night.
140.
But if you think about his performance against Dan Reed earlier, 101.25. Performance of the night so far.
100.
He's got all the tools.
Not
just to win tonight, but to win the whole stage come the middle of October. But he must win now. And by now I mean tonight.
94.
If he wants to get there. There is a slim chance that for the people who do not qualify tonight, they may get a further invite before the end of the stage. But if you've played the full week like Matthew Dennant, you will not get another full week. You will get a small chunk of games.
38.
Pilgrim, if he doesn't win tonight, he's only played a Group B. He might still get a full week if, indeed, he needs it.
58. Darryl Pilgrim, 32.
It does depend on availability. Those spots
Game shot on the
are
second leg.
almost full.
Daryl Pilgrim.
So, 2-0 to Pilgrim. He doesn't want to lose this game. He wants to keep momentum going. And he's got it at 2-0 up.
Third leg, it's Matt to throw first. Game on. $140.
If someone was to walk up to you now and say, if you could lose this game but take a win in the semi-finals, you know what you'd ask for. I'd have the semi-finals. But what you want to create for yourself before your semi-final is a little bit of extra material, a little bit of extra confidence.
180.
Nothing wrong with his maximums. He's got 3. And it's only leg 3.
140.
One thing I do know about Pilgrim is that he does play a lot of darts. He plays a lot of tournaments. Oh, look at the number. It's 124 again.
99.
This time he misses it.
Darryl Pilgrim, 92.
That leaves 77. That does not.
60. Matty Pilgrim,
32
25.
left. Double 8.
Game shot
Still
in
in
the
the
third
game.
leg.
And that's what he needs. I've mentioned on many occasions already that he has missed too many doubles this week. But if he's going to have a hot spell on the outer ring, maybe the next 90 minutes would be a good time to have it.
58.
Because that's what we've got left for the week.
$140.
Over the last 3 Saturday nights, we have seen incredible action. We saw Robert Owen beat Dave Pallett in the final in week 1. Chaz Barstow beat Mike Warburton.
65.
Graham Hall beat Gian Van Veen last Saturday night. And that leads me to congratulations for multiple young stars, because over the last couple of days,
121.
Development Tour Darts in the PDC in Hildesheim, Germany. Yesterday, young Josh Rock of Northern Ireland, a real superstar in the making, booked 2 wins with some remarkable displays.
140.
But today, at the tournament in Hildesheim, a win for Louis Williams in the second event. But the first event of the day, won by Gian Van Veen, beating Josh Rock in his 3rd consecutive final. So many congratulations to those young men. Boy, that was close. Pursed lips from the scholar.
100.
They should have called him the Doctor, because his initials are MD. Double top.
Game shot on the 4th leg.
And if Matthew Dennett is going to win this match from 3-1 down, he needs the paddles. He needs to be revived. It's looking increasingly likely
5th leg, it's Matt to throw
that
first.
Dennant could be playing against Josh Payne in the first semi-final. But this game isn't done yet.
180.
I don't think we've had another game tonight where there's been 4 maximums in it. We had 3 when Reed played Dennant.
100.
We had 3 when Pilgrim played Reed. We had 3 when Payne
121.
played McEwan. We had 3 when Stone played Payne. And we had 3 when McEwan played Stone. So every single match
57.
tonight has had 3 maximums. I don't ever remember that happening on a finals night. But this game has booked the trend a little bit. It's got its 4th. Or might even get a 5th or a 6th.
100, mate. You're requiring 60.
Double top. Not under any pressure.
Game shown the 5th leg.
And a fine 12 darter
Dennett.
from Dennant. His average has gone to 97.23 with that 4 visit leg. 2 more legs and he could win the group.
6th leg, it's Daryl to throw first.
It's really tight between them after the first match they played. Leg difference for Pilgrim +3.
140.
Dennant +2, but with them both on 2 points, it's all about that instead of the leg difference. And what I must state, as we get our 5th maximum of this match, is that at no point for the rest of the night does leg difference make any difference.
140.
It's all about the wins now. It's all about knockout darts.
60.
Advantage Pilgrim. And he sets up a 1-2-5 where every dart player on the planet dreams of going bull 25 bull
140
to win a match. And he will go that route. Now that leaves 108, so he can't complete it.
55. Mate, you're 121.
For a second consecutive 12 dart leg. It's the bull again.
96.
Wow, that was close.
Daryl requires 70.
His first realistic chance of winning this match. 2 16s. And Pilgrim wins Group 2. So he will wait a little bit of time before he plays his semi-final against Gary Stone. Matthew Dennant loses with 100 average. Wow. 5 180s in that match. It was littered with quality. But we're going to take a break. And when we come back after around about 10 minutes, it's going to be Matthew Dennant against Josh Payne in our first semi-final. Wow. They've played each other 3 times already this week in Group A. They're going to have a 4th meeting. Come the next 10 minutes. Don't go far. It's semi-finals time in week 4. We've had our group games and now we have our semi-finalists. Josh Payne will take on Matthew Dennant in our first one, and Daryl Pilgrim will chief the next one against Gary Stone, potentially, as he won group 2. So Josh Payne hasn't lost a leg tonight so far. If that continues, he'll be in another final on a Saturday night. Matthew Dennant is looking to make his second final of the year.
Throw first. Game on.
Josh has the darts by virtue of winning Group 1. No bull off. We don't need those until the
45.
third place playoff and the final. The benefit of winning the group is that you get the darts.
134.
Dennant losing his second match of the night against Pilgrim, but averaging 100 in that. So if there is
93.
a bright side to that loss, it's that he did play well. But it's at this stage of the night where you have to find your best. You know that if you lose this game, you're not going to qualify for the Champions Week in October tonight.
43. $98.
Still best of 7 legs. Knockout stuff. Just as we like it on a Saturday night.
100.
Dennant might go 19s again on 173. 2 trebles and a single will leave tops.
99.
The ideal maximum to leave tops
180.
from Josh.
Matty requires 74.
So much pressure applied on the 74.
54.
And it hit the flight on the way
Josh
through.
require 40.
Payne just won't go away.
Game
Even
shot
in the
on
legs,
first leg.
where he looks
Josh
like he's going to
Payne.
lose by some margin, he finds enough to pressurise, and ultimately the pressure told.
Second leg, it's Matt to throw first. Game on.
When Dennett did make the final in week 3 of phase 2, the players that did not make the final, the likes of Richard North, Scott
44.
Baker, Aaron Monk and Kevin Painter, that was a quality-filled night. He has been here on a Saturday night
85.
before without making the semis. That was in week 3 of phase 3, where he lost out to the likes of Daryl Pilgrim,
99.
funnily enough, Kieran Tian, Josh Richardson, and the eventual champion of that week, Ryan Finesse. And Dennett did make a Saturday night in 2021 as well, in week 1 of phase 5, a week won by Jim Williams.
100.
He's gone on to win a PDC Pro Tour event this year. Don't be afraid to get in touch at this late hour. We've just passed the midnight hour. So welcome to Sunday Morning Darts here live on Sporty Stuff TV. At Darts Live League on Twitter if you have any
57.
late night thoughts, late night questions. But Payne looking to inflict
140.
once again as he reaches 2 dart range first.
$48. Josh should require
The
97.
possibility of him getting to the final without losing a leg is very real.
87.
But not at that visit.
Matt, you require 153. $95. Josh
Does
should
Payne
require
give
10.
the scholar a reprieve? Double 2.
Game shot on the
He's
second
just
leg.
too good at the minute.
Josh Payne.
And even in his bad legs, he is winning. That's an 18 darter for Josh. He's already halfway to the 4 legs he needs to make another final.
Third leg, it's Josh to throw first.
I've spent a lot of time with Josh this week.
60.
We've walked to the venue together. We've known each other very well for many years. He has had some frustrations this week. Constantly going up against a
42.
dominant Jim McEwan earlier in Group A this week. He was frustrated at not winning Group A and Group B. But now he's doing it
100.
when it counts. McEwan's out of the way.
$125.
And now Josh is the favourite to win tonight because he's the only person left in the last 4 who has won on a Saturday night.
97.
That surely has to count for something.
96.
Don't get me wrong, I am not counting out Dennant yet. And I'm most definitely not counting out Gary Stone or Daryl Pilgrim.
140.
You have to read the situation as you see it. And Payne is comfortable right now. There's a line I never thought I'd say. Payne is
56.
comfortable.
Josh should require 104.
He doesn't have to go 2 double tops. Just 2 singles is good. You'd rather, in my opinion, hit 2 singles there than hit the 60 and split 10s.
86. Josh should require 40.
Double top for 3-0.
Game shot on the third leg.
What a night this is
Josh
turning out to
Payne.
be for Josh. I tell you what, if there was a bullet going towards him, he would pick it out of the air and throw it away. That's 11 legs in a row he's won.
Fourth leg, it's Matt to throw first. Game on.
Matt will never admit defeat, but this is a very
100.
difficult scenario now.
$59.
They were both part of Group A earlier in the week. They've shared a lot of hockey time together.
134.
Josh won 2 of their meetings earlier in the week.
134.
Matt won on Tuesday by 4 legs to 2. They've played each other in total 4 times here.
140.
And Josh has won 3 of the 4 meetings. So maybe that tells you a little bit of a story. The one meeting they've had outside of this room was
Matt,
won by Dennett.
127.
A youth tour event back in 2013. Hasten to say almost
95.
10 years ago.
$100. Matt, you
Time for
require
Dennant
32.
to snap that streak of legs won.
Game shot
And
on
he's the
fourth
first
leg.
person
Matt
to
Dennant.
win a leg against Josh tonight. All he needs is another 3 to deny him another win. A lot to ask for.
Fifth leg, it's Josh to throw first. $100.
There's been a lot of sport going on today, and I hope that your team won or your favourite player has
38.
done well, no matter what sport you are going for. There's a rather important boxing match on tonight as well in Jeddah
100.
in Saudi Arabia. It has just finished up. And if you don't want to know the result, please plug your ears right now.
140.
Alexander Usyk has defended his World Heavyweight Championship against Anthony Joshua on a split decision. By all accounts, it was a remarkable fight.
180.
This has been a remarkable night for Josh Payne.
140.
He's 3 to 6 darts away from another final. It would be his 4th. Double 14.
107.
Job almost done.
$96. Josh should require 14.
What can he do on double 7? It's awkward.
No score.
And that's not in. One thing I will correct, actually. He's already been in 4 finals. He lost one against Conan Whitehead back in week 2 of Phase
Matt,
4. I completely forgot about
87.
that one. As well as the 3 wins he's got. He might not even make the final if Dennant can rescue himself here. But rescue himself he hasn't. You can see his despair. Maybe he was just the tiniest bit greedy going for the 60. And with a tired right arm, he doesn't get a shot at the bullseye.
37. Josh should require 14.
Still double 7.
Seven.
And 7 is the number because that's now 7 darts for the match
Matt, you
missed.
require 50.
What a free reprieve this is for Matthew.
Game shot on
And
the
it's
fifth
one he
leg.
takes.
Matt Dennant.
The biggest question in this match now, in this semi-final, is how does Josh Payne respond after missing 7 match darts?
Sixth leg, it's Matt to throw first. Game on.
There have been times this week where Dennant has been 3-0
57.
down and brought it back to 3-3. Twice he did that to Gary Stone on Monday and Tuesday. But on both occasions, he lost the last leg.
60.
Make no mistake,
134.
if Josh Payne loses this leg, he's going to be livid.
$58. $95.
He's got to fill it up.
87.
Somewhat under par performance on the 180s in this game. We've had a minimum of 3 in all matches so far. We've only got the 2 here.
58.
Oh, how Josh would love a third. You don't call him the maximum for nothing.
140. Matt, you require 157.
57 tops.
91.
I'm in disbelief that this game is still
Josh,
alive.
you require 156.
But it might be done now.
$100. Matt, you require 66.
Can he save himself? Double 16. The game is on.
Matt Dennett.
It's a 1-leg shootout. And I must remind you that this should be over. 7 darts missed
It's Josh
to
throw
win by
first.
4 legs to 1. And now, Payne needs to win this leg on the throw. Otherwise,
81.
he's not going to qualify for the Champions Week in October via tonight. Without checking, I don't off the top of my head remember someone winning from 3-0 down this week. I'm sure it's happened, but this game is making me feel dizzy.
$60.
As long as Payne stays ahead with his throw, he should be first
60.
to a double. I don't think Josh has played his best stuff this week on the whole. I think he's been about 2 or 3% down on his usual standard.
140.
But he needs his experience to tell now.
100.
He may be on the cusp of losing his throw. Dennant's got 6 darts from 204 to get to a second final.
83.
The magic number is 133. That's what he gets.
133.
Dennant won
Matt, you
his
require
first match of the night with a 1-2-4 on the bull.
$57.
A lot of people think that the number 8 is lucky.
Game,
the number
shots,
8
and the
is
match.
profitable for Josh Payne, who wins the match by 4 legs to 3. There's a lot of respect between those two friends. Dennant put up such a great fight, but he comes up just short. And the fact that Josh Payne did win his group gave him the darts. It gave him the lead in that last leg. And he wins, where the averages were very similar. The checkered percentages were very different, but the 25% for Josh Payne was all about those 7 mismatched darts in leg number 5. But he is in the final. Who's he going to play in the Week 4 final? Will it be Gary Stone of Scotland, or will it be the Crystal Palace fan, Daryl Pilgrim? Let's find out after the break. Semi-final number 2, and it's time for Daryl Pilgrim to take to the hockey once again. And Gary Stone's had a bit of a wait for this semi-final. I hope he's ready. We haven't seen Gary since the end of match 3. The biggest gap between games he's had all week. Plenty of time to get ready for this one. And he has not played against Daryl Pilgrim this week once.
First leg, it's Daryl to throw
They've
first.
been dodging each other.
Game on.
But the winner will play Josh Payne in the final. The loser of this one will stay on the board and play Matt Dennant in the third place playoff.
$100.
You could say it's been a bit of an up and down night for Gary.
140.
Started with a 4-2 win against Jim McEwan, who was not at his best tonight. But after that, he succumbed to a 4-0 loss to Josh Payne. If he wants to get revenge for that, he's got to go through Daryl Pilgrim first.
$105.
You've got to say that Pilgrim's been impressive, though. 2 wins.
57. Daryl, you require 116.
2 very high averages. And he's at it again. Double top.
96.
Isn't doing a great deal wrong.
$93. Daryl, you require 20.
Double 10.
Game shot.
That's a 14 darter.
Daryl Pilgrim.
I hate to say this, Gary, but against the darts, you are up against it. You're going to have to find your premium stuff, and you don't have to wait. You're going to have to find it now.
Second leg, it's Gary to throw first.
Here's the other bad news. Daryl Pilgrim tonight, before this game started, was averaging 98.8.
58.
That 14 darter probably takes him over the 100 mark for the night. I know what's going through his mind. The fact that he's been close before.
93.
But maybe he's more ready than ever to win on a Saturday night. Look at the
99.
deliberate ghost darting in the background, just making sure his forearm's in the right spot. This guy takes the game really seriously. One of my contacts in the game told me that he was runner-up in a tournament in Walton-on-Thames near London 7 days ago, where he lost out to Martin Luckman.
100.
Even when he's not at the Live League or at Challenge Tour or WDF events, he's playing locally. He just loves to win, loves to play. That's where you've got to live, Gary, right there.
180.
Listen to your uncle Asset.
153. $97.
And you have to hit
Gary
this.
Requires 64.
Because Pilgrim isn't going to miss that 66. 56 even. Tops.
44.
If I had £1 for the amount
Daryl,
of times he's missed
56.
tops low this week, I would have a very large note in my pocket.
Game shot on the
Told you he wasn't going to miss it.
Daryl Pilgrim.
He's just too likely to hit tonight. He's just so sharp, so clinical. And it's now 2-0 to Pilgrim.
Third leg, it's Daryl to throw first.
He's about as sharp tonight as one of Gordon Ramsay's knives.
140.
He's about as sharp as Sean Locke's wit when he was alive, that great
81.
comedian who was sadly lost last year. It's been a tragic 12 months for us in the game of darts, losing a few of our good friends.
140.
Nearly a year ago, we lost our friend Kyle Anderson. And this year, we've lost two very close friends in Nigel Pearson and John Gwynn,
58.
Hall of Fame commentators. Those guys would love to watch Daryl play it. Is he going to save his best stuff for the end of week 4?
77.
His personal best average in any game he's played at the Live League is 107.25.
59. Daryl, you require 144.
He's not that far from that right now.
94.
This is his 97th game in Live League darts.
99.
He's not going to reach 100 tonight.
Daryl, you require 50.
But if he wins tonight, his 100 will come up in Champions Week. 88. He had a little glance to see where
42.
Gary Stone was. He wasn't fully focused on that shot. And he's fortunate that Stone is not on a finish.
140.
He is now.
Daryl, you require 8.
Double 4. Ooh,
No
wrong
score.
bed. So there's your little
Gary, you require
freebie, Gary. You've
64.
got to take advantage of this. But does he?
Game
He
shot
does.
The third leg.
The game
Gary
turns in leg 3. Just when you think Daryl Pilgrim's going to have a 3-0 advantage, everything changes in a matter of 4 darts.
Fourth leg, it's Gary to throw first.
And to add to that, it's a break of throw. What has that done for Stone? Has it
180.
galvanised him? As soon as I say that word galvanise, I think of that Chemical Brothers track.
100.
Which always reminds me of the fact that Kevin Painter once asked the PDC if he could walk on to Galvanised by Chemical Brothers, and they said,
99.
why would you want to do that? You've got I Predict a Riot by the Kaiser Chiefs. The crowd loved that, and they said, no, you can't change it.
180.
Don't change, Daryl. That's your first 180 of this contest. And another game where we have 3 maximums in them.
58.
The least we've had in a match tonight, 2. The most we've had, 5.
105.
Not one
Gary,
match
you
tonight
require
without a maximum.
164.
That shows the quality on offer.
$81. Daryl, you require 116.
Pick your route, of which there are 2. Doesn't get the 60 he required.
100. Gary, you require 83.
To draw level, unexpectedly. Really?
Game shot on the fourth leg. Gary Stone.
What have we just witnessed? I didn't see that coming. Did you? And if you did, I don't believe you.
Fifth leg, it's Daryl throwing first.
I don't even think Gary Stone knows
47.
what he just did. That was exhibition darts at a point in a match that was vital.
60.
I will remind you that Pilgrim was on 16. Gary Stone was on 83. The single 17 leaves 66. Everybody on planet Earth,
137.
I thought, would have gone for 16 and bull or treble 16 and double 9. But no. Gary Stone may not be from this
96.
planet, because he went double 17, double 16. It made 0 sense. But he may be some sort of
59.
wacky genius. If there are any young dart players watching this, or
41.
who decide to watch this back, in that spot, don't do that. That was the wrong call. I know he hit it, and he looked like a genius for hitting it, but that was the wrong play.
180.
Let's get back to the game then. That is the most
99.
surprising thing I've seen all week,
Daryl,
and I've seen some
requires
surprising
78.
things. Pilgrim for 3-2. To get back on the horse.
38.
Stone can't do anything from 205. One thing I can tell you, after the
40.
first semi-final, I've had confirmation
Daryl, you
after
require
that
40.
Josh Payne win that nobody has won from 3-0 down this week.
Game shot on the 5th
Pilgrim
leg.
is
Daryl
within
Pilgrim.
one of the final once again. Gary Stone needs to win 2 straight. So, over to you, Gary. You've got the darts in leg 6.
6th leg, it's Gary to throw first. .96.
Average for Pilgrim in this match after that
134.
visit, 99.3. 88.65 for Gary Stone.
83.
He has not brought his A game tonight. He has been trying to survive most of the time. But he's going to have played, by the end of tonight, 29 games of darts.
100.
That will be the most played alongside Matthew Dennant. And it could well be Stone against Dennant in that 3rd place playoff.
171.
Because that 171 from Pilgrim leaves him on a match shot of 62. And we all know the best way to get
Daryl,
62 is treble, 15, 1 and double 8. We've seen it hit a couple of times this week. And he decides to go elsewhere.
46. Gary,
So that's a
require
match start missed.
126.
Can Stone survive again? This time the logic is right. And so is the shot!
Gary Stone.
Oh, Gary Stone! What are you up to? Just when Daryl Pilgrim is ready to put him away,
7th and final
Stone
leg, it's Daryl to
survives.
throw first. .96.
I'll tell you what, if Gary does win this leg and this match, I'll be talking about that 83 checkout forever.
134.
I will talk to every dart player I know to try and find the logic in what he did. Because I could walk this planet for another 40 years and not find a person who will tell me that he did the right
134.
thing. But that 126 was epic. With the Champions League
59.
spot on the line over the next couple of matches for these guys, they are providing us with excellent stuff. Pilgrim averaging
39.
over 100. Stone 10 behind in the average, but only 76 behind in the score in this final leg.
100.
Both semi-finals going the distance. And I don't care who you are, what experience you've got. You want your opponent to slip up here.
140.
But he does not.
96.
112
Daryl,
plays
you require
92.
92.
Daryl had the darts. He gets first crack, and it's 2.
Game,
Finds the
shots,
target and wins
the
by
match.
4 legs to
Daryl
3
Pilgrim.
in an epic semi-final. And ultimately, Gary Stone just ran out of lives. And he didn't have the darts in that game. That was the separating factor. An incredible performance from Pilgrim. Almost a 101 average. But Gary Stone, I think the right word is valiant. If not, a little bit wacky at certain points. So your final tonight is going to be Josh Payne against Daryl Pilgrim. And your third place playoff, which will take place in around 10 minutes' time, will be Matthew Dennant and Gary Stone. So let us all get a collective breath. We'll see you in roughly 10 minutes. more games left for you on Sunday morning, and the first one will be to determine who will finish third for week 4 ahead of our final for this morning, which will be Josh Payne and Daryl Pilgrim. So down to the board for Gary Stone against Matty Dennant. Usually in this spot, when two players have missed out on the final,
Okay,
we can have a good game of
Gary to
darts,
throw first. Game
but
on.
both players will be on this hockey disappointed. Both playing their 29th game of the week.
120.
Both have given it their all, but they've fallen one short again.
44. 61.
That's the second time that Gary Stone's had a Robin Hood tonight, and that stem is fractured. I think he needs a new one. Or maybe he's just going to plod on with that stem. That it may be fractured,
39.
but the spring ring at the top of it might be holding it together. I'll keep an eye on that.
177.
Nothing wrong with those darts. Nothing at all. I'm sure Matt's kids have all gone to bed now knowing that Daddy hasn't won. He's put up a really big fight tonight.
58.
He's been to a final before. He has lost at this stage before as well. The one thing missing is that elusive weekly title, which he's tried to get over the last year and a bit. Double top for Stone.
40.
He'll return. There was a bullseye shootout to see who goes first in this one. And it was won by Stone.
95. Gary required 40. Game shot
Finds
on the
tops
first
this time.
leg. Gary Stone.
And does find a hole to throw in leg 1. Gary before has not made the semi-finals, so at least this week it is
Matt
progress.
To throw first. Game on.
Just to re-emphasise, it's 12 qualifying weeks now for the Champions Week. I assure you that Matty Dennett was not going for that treble 12, but that was a bit of a tired dart maybe, but it found a rather fortunate target.
83.
Yeah, 12 qualifying weeks. Each person who wins a qualifying week will go to Champions Week in the middle of October.
59.
These guys have played a full week of live
177.
league darts, and we've seen a second 177 there from Stone. But because they've played a full week of Monday to
38.
Friday darts, if indeed they are eligible for an invite back in stage 1 at any point,
140.
they will not be able to play in Group A again. It will be either a Group C or a Group B campaign, and they'll have to cross their fingers
97.
to see whether they do get an invite back.
69.
It may even be dependent on whether somebody has to pull out.
95. Gary
Stone
32.
is playing well.
16. Mate, you're recording 96.
He should be 2-0 up. I went for tops first for double 18.
40.
Whether you go for the
Gary
double 18 or the
requires
double top
16.
first on that combination, it doesn't really matter. Double 4. And
No
Stone
score.
is starting to miss.
Mate, you require 56.
Tops this time to win the leg.
Game
And
shot
he does win the leg.
Matt Dennant.
He shouldn't have. He knows that. I know that. You know that. But he did.
So look, it's Gary to throw first.
There will be a bullseye shootout in the next few minutes between Payne and Pilgrim to see who goes first in the final. It could be a key thing.
180.
In both semi-finals, having the darts was massive. Payne was 3-0 up. Dennant brought it back to 3-3. And because Josh had the darts in the final leg, it gave him that little buffer that he needed. Same for Pilgrim
55.
when he was playing Gary Stone. If you weren't tuning in a little bit earlier when we broke the news about next week's
60
combatants for week 5, let me reiterate them for you. Group A next week will involve Andreas Toft Jorgensen of Denmark, Andy Jenkins of Hampshire, Lee Evans, Neil Duff, the WDF World Champion, Scott Marsh, last year's British Open champion, and Robert Thornton, the reigning senior world champion. Double 18.
74. Matty requires 62.
Is this one being turned around?
Game
It
shot
is
the
indeed.
third leg.
That's a
Matt
15 darter from Matt Dennant. His average will climb because of that, but a somewhat unexpected 2-1 lead after what we saw in the first 2 legs of this encounter.
Fourth leg, it's Matt to throw first. Game on.
Group B action next Thursday and Friday night will include the bottom 3 from Group A, alongside
60.
returning players Steve Hine and Robert Rickwood. And they are joined by debutant from Yorkshire, Martin Turner.
140.
I would say his nickname, but I'm not entirely sure I'm allowed to talk about it on network television.
59.
Group C will involve Jamie Lewis, Steve Haggerty and Stu Wilson. That will be a 6-player group, whereas Group B will be a 5-player group. If you're a regular viewer to Live League Darts, you know what the state of play is now. You know. We've been going for over 18 months. And if you think we're going anywhere, you're wrong. We're sticking around.
79. 100. 58.
Does he want to leave double one? He thought about
130. Gary recording 128.
But he did the right thing. Gary Stone needs 60 in bull. And he gets 60 and bull.
Gary Stone.
Another show of brilliance at the end of a leg. A little bit more of what we saw in the semi-final.
Fifth leg, it's
He's
Gary
having
to
fun
throw
now.
first. Game on.
Because he's got the throwback.
$131.
He's a bit like Stella. Got his groove back. That's an old movie reference, if you're not so sure.
58.
Whatever Gary's up to over the next couple of months, we wish him well. Same for Matt.
60.
Challenge tour activity. Maybe some local tournament action. In the case of some of these guys, it's back to work.
134.
Sometimes Matt has been playing darts during the day and then working straight after.
140.
He's a busy lad. And a very clever one too.
$61.
He
Gary
might be
Buckle,
about to go 3-2
170.
down. We haven't had a 170 checkout all week long. In fact, by my count,
93.
we've only had one 170 in total, and it was a setup shot.
$60.
The
Gary
question
Buckle,
is it going to
77.
be a best night so far in the live league, or best week so far in the live league for Gary Stone by getting 4th position, or is it going to be 3rd? 3rd just sounds a tinge better.
37. $30. Gary
Double
Buckle,
top for
40.
Stone, who is flying the flag solo now for Scotland.
Game on the 5th
And
lap.
he is 3-2 ahead.
Gary Stone.
Like I said, he's the one who's flying the flag for Scotland now because McEwan earlier lost both of his group games and lost 3 straight matches in this week.
Sig flag, it's Matt to throw first. Game on.
Matt's average just a shade over 80. Gary's a shade over 90.
100.
Of the players playing next week,
96.
there are a certain few that I'm sure all of our live league supporters and fans and viewers are keen to watch. Neil Duff being one of them.
180.
Robert Thornton, I'm sure. You all should be intrigued about Andreas Toft Jorgensen. Danish darts
84.
is in a transitional period, and Andreas, alongside the likes of Vladimir Anderson and some others, are trying to take that next generation
93.
to another level. I'm fascinated about Jamie Lewis next week as well. The last time he was
60.
here, he was struggling. But since then, he has put a few things together and won a WDF ranked tournament, so he should be feeling fairly confident.
92.
Matt's been hanging around Jamie Lewis for years in the youth ranks and through
41.
some other stuff. They
record
don't live that
36.
far apart. One's in West Midlands, one's in West Wales.
Game on the 6th flag.
And for the 3rd
Matt
game in
Dennett.
succession, we are going the distance. You're getting your money's worth tonight, that's for sure. But who's going to be 3rd by the end of leg 7? Over to you guys.
7 from
Gary
final
throws
leg. It's
first.
Gary to throw first. Game on. $42.
Not the ideal start for the man who finished 2nd in Group 1 tonight with 2 points and a
44.
leg difference of -2. Dennant finished 2nd with 2 points and a level leg difference. So they've had very similar nights.
180.
There you got a little bit of a glimpse at Gary Stone's first maximum of the match. But one of his stems is borderline shattered, but he refuses to change it.
180.
And another match tonight that has a plethora of maximums.
139.
Another 177, which would have been Gary's 3rd of the match.
83.
With those 180s and
Gary
177s,
140.
you're surprised to see that the averages are only 86 and 91.
42.
One more chance for Dennant. And that chance includes a score here and a mistake needed from Stone.
134. Gary 198.
There's the score he needed. There's the mistake from Stone.
73.
And nobody has had a match dart until now.
Matt, you require 60.
to end the night on a high, to end the week on a high.
Game
He does
shot on
end the
the
week
match.
in third
Matt
position.
Dennant.
And Gary Stone does get some progress in his live league career. The last time he was here, it was equal fifth on a Saturday night. Tonight, he has to settle for fourth. Matt Dennant squeaks his way to a third place finish, but unfortunately for him, he has not qualified for the October Champions Week, just like Stone. But someone in the next match will, automatically. Will it be Josh Payne or Daryl Pilgrim? Do not go anywhere. Your Week 4 final is next. Welcome back, everybody, and all of you darting night owls. Welcome to the Saturday final, or should I say Sunday, because it's past 1 o'clock in the morning, and these two players are now vying for one position in October's Champions Week. Interesting game. Both have had very good seasons, but Josh has done it in this game before, whereas Daryl has not. That cannot be ignored. Is it a question of Josh again or Daryl finally? We will pick the bones out of this one
Okay,
in the
first
next
I get
few
Josh
minutes.
to throw first.
But here we go.
Game on.
Best of 7 legs. Winner takes the Champions Week spot to join Graham Hall, Chaz Barstow and Robert Owen.
81.
And we will have 8 more spots available over the next 8 weeks. Just to give you a few stats before we get too deep in this one. Over 150 legs this week, Josh is averaging 90.57.
80.
Daryl's played a lot less legs. In fact, he's played 63, but his average is 92.87, 2.3 points ahead.
85.
There's nothing in it with the doubling. Josh, 36.78%. Daryl, 37.5%. 3/4 of a point between them is nothing. Josh has got 32 maximums to Daryl's 14. But again, Josh has played a lot more matches.
96.
Josh has the darts. And if we follow the pattern of the semi-finals,
59.
that will be key. But in the third place playoff, Gary Stone had the darts and ended up losing the last leg.
101.
With the throw this week, Josh has won almost 72% of the time. Daryl, almost 79% of the time. But the key thing for Daryl in this match is that against the throw, he's winning 53% of the time to Josh's 46.
105. Josh require 100.
The stats say it's going to be super tight. The first leg tells us nothing different.
60.
But it could be that precious break throw in leg 1. Double 10.
47.
That is a big chance,
Josh
even at this early stage.
40.
Tens for Josh.
Game shot
And
the
he
first
finds
leg.
what Daryl could
Josh
not.
Payne.
A somewhat slow start to this final. But if there are some nerves out there, I wouldn't be surprised.
Second against Daryl to throw first.
In previous times, when you've made the final in phase darts over the last year,
100.
you're in the final, you know you're in Champions Week, you know you're playing for a few extra bucks and the glory of winning the week. But things are more
60.
cutthroat now. If you finish second, you may not be going to Champions Week.
100.
The likes of Dave Pallett, Gian Van Veen and Mike Warburton have all had runner-up spots in the last 3 weeks.
100.
A Champions Week with Josh Payne in it makes sense. A Champions Week with Daryl Pilgrim also makes sense. The fact that one of them is not going to make it tonight
140.
is testament to how things are changing here at the Live League.
180.
First 180, and I'm pretty sure that won't be the last of this final.
58. Joshua record 161.
He's had some big finishes this week. This is not going to be one of them.
65.
Strangely, his biggest finish has been 126. Pilgrim has a score to settle with double 10.
Game
And it
shot
has
the
been
second
settled.
leg.
That's
Daryl
much more
Pilgrim.
like it. He protects his throw, and we go into leg 3 after 2 holds. I still think we might be going the distance.
Third leg is Josh to throw first.
Josh started tonight with 2 perfect group games, beating McEwan
95.
and Gary Stone by 4 legs to 0. Things were a lot tighter in the semi-finals when he beat Matthew Dennant, long-time friend.
47.
Those averages tell you that maybe there is a bit of tension out there. For the night, Daryl Pilgrim has been averaging very close to 100.
140.
100.98 in his semi-final. 96 in his second group game. And 101 in his first group game against Dan Reed. Things are getting a lot more compacted around those inner ring trebles. Double dipping in the 60, double dipping in the 57.
100. Joshua 130.
Quality is rising. Double 12.
120.
He did have the option of staying on the treble 24 double 6, but he didn't want to leave himself on a small double. But he's on one anyway.
90.
But at least this way he wasn't lumbered on double 3.
12.
He's on it anyway.
Game shot on the
And it
third
pays
leg.
off.
Josh Payne.
Double 3 to win leg 3. Everybody take a collective breath. What's going to happen in leg 4? This is an excellent final.
Fourth leg, it's Daryl to throw first. $137. 134.
There's more of that double dipping going on there. The finals that Josh has had here this year. Week 1, Phase 1. He beat Chaz Barstow in the final. He beat Nick Kenny in Week 4 of Phase 2.
180.
That's 180, number 2 of this final. In the Champions Week of Phase 4, he beat Conor Heenahan. The only person to beat him in a final this year, Conan Whitehead,
58.
in Week 2 of Phase 4. Can Daryl do the same? The last time he was in a final was in Phase 3, when he lost out to Ryan Finesse that night.
20.
But the biggest final he's been in this year in Live League Darts, he lost to Jim McEwan in the Champions Week of Phase 1. That was a night where Josh Payne was 4th.
123. Joshua McEwan,
Meaning they've shared a lot of practice room time together. They will know their games super well.
47. Daryl require 83.
Can Pilgrim equalise? He needs double 9.
74. Joshua require 120.
Now Josh is hoping for a 61st dart. That's a decent lie. Just caught it a bit too
60.
much. Didn't glance
you
into the
require
red
9.
bit the way it can sometimes with that lie.
Game shot on the
Great shot from
fourth flag.
Pilgrim, a 17-dart
Daryl
hold.
Pilgrim.
We are level after 4. The plot thickens like my gravy will for Sunday lunch a little bit later.
Fifth leg is Josh to throw first. $96.
They've played each other 7 times before. In Challenge Tour darts, Pilgrim has won both of their meetings. In Live League darts,
37.
Payne has won 3 of their 5 meetings, meaning that Pilgrim overall is 4-3 up.
99.
But maybe the most important statistic when it comes to head-to-head is that Daryl has beaten Josh twice this week.
60.
They played on Thursday. It was 4-3 to Pilgrim
82.
in a very good game where both averaged 93. And last night, Pilgrim won by 4 legs to 1. And again, the averages were very close at 92 each.
56.
Something just distracted Josh there, and he did the right thing in stepping away.
Exactly
the right thing to do. Third maximum of the final.
134. Josh McEwan 44.
He's 70 ahead. All he wants is the bottom corner,
Game shot
and he
on the
gets the
fifth
bottom
leg.
corner
Josh
of the
Payne.
bottom corner double. 3-2. So, what's going to happen in leg 6? We're at the point of no return for
Sixth leg is
Pilgrim
Daryl
and his
to throw
supporters.
first.
Is it going to
58.
be so near and yet so far again for South Croydon's finest? An area of the world that has
60.
a lot of excellent talent. But Pilgrim has come to the fore this year, and he has been very hard to beat.
97.
If Payne can put in one big scoring spurt here, he might get a match start in leg 6.
43.
Well, that's an excellent switch.
134.
Breathing space it is. Tantamount to a maximum as a buffer. Forcing Josh to get a 4th.
180.
Ask and ye shall receive.
$94.
Can Josh get another one to leave double 19? Well, there's your answer. But he is going to leave a finish.
81.
And it's not a simple one.
118.
You need 3 perfect darts for a 137 out. For a 118, you need a treble, a single, and
Game
that.
shot on the sixth flag.
We're going the distance.
Daryl Pilgrim.
For the 4th consecutive game tonight, it's going to be leg 7. And this
7
one
from final leg is
will
Josh
have
to
Josh
throw
throwing first, and it will determine who wins week 4.
95.
It's at this point one big treble visits like 95 or gold dust.
96.
A 15 darter with the throw could be good enough.
123.
2 treble visits are very welcomed.
134.
And they both get 2 treble visits.
45.
First real miss of this last leg from Josh Payne. Incredible thinking and immense execution there from Pilgrim, who gets to the finish first. But he's got a huge problem. The problem is that Payne has hit his 5th maximum to leave that 58. And Pilgrim needs this 142 just to win. And he's not going to do it. So Payne should get 2 week-winning darts
43.
at a double that has been incredible to him
58.
for the last 5 days. For another win. Double 10.
48.
Has it slipped by?
Daryl require 99.
Will he get another look for that 4th win of the year? Or will it be a first win? It won't. Not at this visit for Daryl.
41.
That was a very edgy second dart.
Josh require 10.
Big tension on this hockey. Double 2.
6.
That's 4 darts for the Champions Week missed.
Daryl require 58.
Josh Payne missed a 58 checkout to win this week. Pilgrim gets the same. And it's his first win in a week for Daryl Pilgrim. He takes advantage of 4 missed darts by Josh Payne, and Pilgrim will grace Champions Week. What a dramatic final game that was. The averages for the 3rd night in a row between those two were extremely similar. But the tension came down to the misses at double at the end from Payne. And Pilgrim had just about enough fortune to break the throw in leg 7. What a week it has been. We've all enjoyed it. We've gone a little bit late tonight. We hope that's all right with you guys at home. Thank you for your company over the last 6 days. It's been an absolute pleasure for me to sit in this seat and to bring all of this to you. We will have more for you from 9:30 a.m. on Monday. Chris Mason will be sitting in this seat with this microphone and these headphones. I will be back with you sometime soon. As to when, you'll have to wait and see. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful Sunday. We'll see you back at Live League Darts on Monday. But for now, I'm the Asset. I'm signing out for now. Good night, everybody.